फिनिश्ड कर दो. Who has chosen this blue color? Why can't we just look at blue and thing? Huh? Is this the layer color? No. Let me see what is the background. Select line. Selected objects yellow, locked objects dark gray, new layer. This also okay. Let me explain this also. So when you right click on this, come down and look at display options. Isme there are a lot of things. A few critical things are these. Go to dimensions and click on default. Now here there is a text height. If sometimes you will make a very big window and there are a lot of objects and you dimension, put the dimension, and what happens is that in the dimension text becomes very small, or the dimension text becomes too big with respect to your drawing. So what you have to do is change the text height here. Okay, this one is important. The other one that is important is in the grid. You have to show your grid lines or not show your grid lines. So when you have your sketch as the background bitmap, you better switch off your grid lines, otherwise you will not be able to see anything. All this node shorts is fine. This units is the same thing. You remember absolute tolerance, what we saw in Alias? So here if you're exporting for Rhino or if you're exporting for SolidWorks or whatever, you have to make it 0.005 or 0.002 depending upon its Pro E or SolidWorks or whatever. But that is what you do here. Okay? This will also tell you the distance display, whether it is decimal or fraction or display position is what when you're doing the dimension. Okay? Line types and all is fine. You can put continuous, you can put border line, center line. All this is possible while making lines. You can choose that here. Web browser is fine. Viewport options are fine. The other is this colors. Sometimes you want to take a quick screen capture. And for taking the quick screen capture, you want पीछे में gray नहीं चाहिए, एकदम white चाहिए, right? So just come here to colors, change this background here to white, okay? And then it will go to white. If you have a Fundo graphics card, then you can do these settings. Okay. Now when you are seeing in this advanced settings, when you're seeing, it will show you ISO curves, it will show you mesh wires, but I will show you. If I remove the mesh wires and if I remove the ISO curves, what happens is, इसको भी मैं बंद कर दूँ, it is showing me my surface like this. Sometimes what happens is तुमने surface बनाया उसमें बहुत कचरा हो जाता है. There are just too many lines on that surface. So in that case, you just want to see the topology of the surface. So then you just see this. It will show you only basic lines of the model. When you can go back, you can go to your display options and change this back to show mesh wires and show ISO curves. Say OK, and your mesh wires and ISO curves come back. Okay, so let us look at the color here. Okay, इसको हम white कर देते हैं. Sorry, इसको हम black कर देते हैं. What a relief! Wow, what a relief! The eyes. Okay. Okay. So now we will switch on the analysis tool, which is this. Okay. Now when you make this too thin, this is what happens. You can't figure out much. So if you make it thin, this is when you can almost see. Okay. Now you see that this is jagged. Is this a surface problem? Is it a graphics card problem? What is the problem?
No, it's not a problem, man.
Resolution set on the software.
Either mesh. अभी jagged and fast है, तो हमारे प्रोसेसर पे लोड कम डालता है. अगर मैं इसको स्मूथ कर देता हूँ, ओके, तो मेरा वो बेहतर होना चाहिए, पर वो थोड़ा बेहतर हुआ नहीं, क्योंकि मुझे उसका एडजस्ट मैश करना पड़ेगा. गो टू सिंपल कंट्रोल्स एंड आई गो टू मैक्सिमम मैश क्वालिटी. तो अभी थोड़ा स्मूथ हो गया. Okay, so what I'll repeat, you go to adjust mesh, naturally it will put it in the center, which means, see, it is creating a mesh of the surface before it can do this. जो नीचे में आपको mesh नजर आ रहा है, छोटे छोटे squares बनाए. Now the intensity of that mesh will define how is my U and V lines showing. Okay, so I can make these vertical or horizontal. Okay, so I can say okay, and I can make this vertical or horizontal. Okay, so if I make it vertical and let us say again go to adjust mesh. Now can you see wherever it is actually stopping and the whole line, wherever it is hitting and becoming a small kink, the black line is actually where the bottom lines are, and you can see that better in this one. Okay, you see, जहाँ से लाइन के ऊपर से पास कर रहा है वहाँ पे वो उसका शेप वैसा है. अगर मैं उसको भी ओके करके तो मैं अभी थिनेस्ट कर देता हूँ. You see, can you visualize the lines below? So now that lines are a function of how many polygons you have. Got it? इसमें detailed controls भी हैं. You can change this density. You can change this density to 0.5. Okay, so if you change this density to 0.5, now you look, your mesh has become this. If you change this density to 5, okay, now if you again go back, this has become your mesh has come back. So there are, you can play around with all this minimum edge length, maximum edge length. There's no great point, but the point is that our model is not a very big model. It's a small surface within some, I don't know how many, let us see. Where are the dimensions? Here. So let us see. Here, here. What is the dimension? 42. It's not very small. ठीक है? So इतना thinner का कोई फायदा नहीं है और इतना thick का भी कोई फायदा नहीं है. इतना thick भी वैसे चलेगा. To see whether I have a curvature continuous surface there or not. ठीक है? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z to a stage where we had not made this curvature continuous fillet. Okay? So you remember how you are seeing these curves here, these lines here. Okay, and I can try and changing them in this view also. Okay, you see that there are some slightly hard transitions, but still decently smooth. Okay? Okay. Now I go escape, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, 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 Z. New layer भी हटा दिया, meshes भी हटा दिया, undoing sweep, undoing explode, blend curve, undoing delete. Okay. So now I'm back to my surface. अभी एक और Control Z, एक और undoing explode भी हो गया, right? So now this is one single surface again. Now this is a fillet, which was your fillet, solid fillet, right? Now I again add this object, and I have to do this. I have to go to the layer and make this black. Okay. And I adjust the mesh. Make this black. Okay, so if you see here, can you see there is a sharp edge cut? Okay. So whenever you make a fillet using the fillet command, this is what happens. That is why even if you make a fillet, what you have to do is make the fillet, take that surface, delete it, and then make some blend curves there and make the surface so that it is curvature continuous from both sides. are not so sharply hitting into each other. If you look at vertical lines, can you see this